Hey there, so in this video we'll write few more codes on the strings topic. So let's quickly get started. So the first problem statement is something like this. We have to write a code to find whether a given string is a palindrome or not. So let's first understand what do we mean by palindrome, okay? What is palindrome, okay? So let's quickly see it on the whiteboard. So let me take you to the whiteboard, just give me a minute and yeah, here you go. So let's understand what is a palindrome. So whenever the string is something like this, so for example ABA, let's say this is my string. So if you read this string from this direction and if you read this string from this direction, so this is like a forward direction and this is a reverse direction. So whenever you read string in forward direction and in reverse direction, whenever it reads the same, okay, whenever it reads the same, we can call such string as a palindrome. So if you observe, if you read this string from this direction, it is ABA, but if you read it from reverse direction, it is ABA only, okay? So this is a palindrome. All right, so I hope you are clear with the concept of palindrome. So I can give you a few more examples. For example, DAD, dad, okay? So if you read it this way or this way, it is always going to be a palindrome. Similarly, MOM, mom, it is a palindrome, right? So these are the examples of palindrome. But let's take example of a string which is not palindrome. So for example, ABC. This is not a palindrome because if you read it in forward direction, this is ABC, but if you read it in reverse direction, it is CBA. Okay, so it is not same. Okay, so let's see how we can check whether a given string is palindrome or not. So let's quickly move to the VS Code and start writing code for this. So I have created one string variable str1, and in that variable I have initialized that variable with this value CABAC. Okay, now CABAC is a palindrome. If you observe this, it is a palindrome. Read it from forward direction and in the reverse direction, you will see it is equal. Okay, it is a palindrome. So let's understand how we can check whether a string is palindrome or not. So it is very simple. Let's start with a simple approach. Okay, so the first simple approach that is coming to my mind is, first what we can do is we can reverse a string. Okay, we can reverse a string. So we already know how we can reverse a string. So I'll create another variable called as reverse of str1. Okay, and let's initialize it with empty string, and then what we will do is we will reverse this str1 and we'll store the reverse of this into reverse str1. Okay, so for that I'll write a for loop. So the loop will start from length of str1 minus 1. So I'll write str1 dot length minus 1. See, while writing the length, putting these parentheses, opening and closing bracket, is very important. Okay, don't miss that. Then in every iteration, or the condition will be I greater than equal to 0, and in every iteration I will decrement by 1. Okay, and now what I'm going to do in for loop is we are just going to push back the character. See, we have already seen this code in the last video, so it is very simple. So we'll just push back each and every character, but in the reverse order, and then in the reverse string or revstr1 we will have the reverse string. So just let's verify this. So I'll write cout revstr1 just to verify whether the reverse is actually happening or not, and let's compile this code. So let me clear the terminal. Let's compile and execute this code. So the name of this file is 08codes2.cpp, and let's execute it. You can see, okay, I'll need to change something over here. So let me add, let's say D at the end, and now let's verify. Because as this is a palindrome right now, you won't be able to understand, you won't be able to guess whether it has actually got reversed or not. So but yeah, in this case I added D at the end, and you can see it is printing DCABAC. Okay, whatever. So it has got reversed. All right, so now the logic is very simple. What we just need to do is we just need to compare the original string with the reverse string. If both of them are equal, that means it is palindrome, the given string is palindrome. If both of them are not equal, then it is not palindrome. That simple it is. Okay, so I'll write one if statement. So I'll say if str1 is equal to reverse str1, then we can say that the string is palindrome. I will say string is palindrome followed by slash n, else we can say that the string is not palindrome. Okay, that's it, and we don't need to print this reverse string on the screen now. So let's compile and execute this code now. Let's see whether we get correct output. Let's execute this. You can see it is giving us this output, which is string is not palindrome. Okay, why it is saying string is not palindrome? Because this time our string is CABA. Okay, we forgot to add C over here. Okay, so you saw for CABA it is saying string is not palindrome, because if you read it in the reverse order it is ABAC. So ABAC is not equal to CABA. Okay, but if I add C in the end, now it has become a palindrome. So now it should print output as string is a palindrome. So let's see whether we get output as string is a palindrome. You can see we are getting output as string is a palindrome. So I hope you are clear with this first simple approach to check whether a given string is palindrome or not. Now this approach is kind of okay, but it is kind of time consuming, okay, in terms of code quality. Okay, see, we are going to have discussion about this in a different course. You are going to watch the track called as Placement Preparation Masterclass. Then in that track we have a course called as Logic Building. Okay, so in that course we are going to discuss more things about how to write good codes. But this code is not that good, because over here there is one additional variable involved. We are creating a reverse string and then comparing the original string with the reverse string. Now let's try to optimize this code. Let's try to make this little better. Let's see how we can check whether a given string is palindrome or not without using additional variable or without reversing it. Okay, let's see whether we can write some logic to check whether a given string is palindrome or not without actually reversing the string. Okay, so for that, let me take you to the whiteboard. Let's understand how we can achieve this. So let's clear this whiteboard. Okay, now focus very carefully. For example, if I have this string A, B and A, okay, so what we can do is we can start with two indexes. The first is 0th index and the second one is the last index. In this case it is 2. Okay, so we are going to have values of two index, first index and the last index. Okay, and then what we can do is we can compare the letters at these two positions. If they are same, then we can say that okay, there is a possibility that this string can be a palindrome. Okay, if they are same, then we can say that there is a possibility that this string can be a palindrome. Okay, but if they are not same, we can say that the string is not palindrome. So for example, let me give another example. Let's say I have this string CABAD. Okay, now let me also write the indexes. So the indexes are like 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so initially we'll have these two indexes with us, 0 and 4. Now we'll compare whether the letters at these indexes are equal or not. So you can see the letters at these indexes are not equal in this case. So it is C over here and it is D over here. C and D are not equal. So we can say that the string is not palindrome. Okay, I hope you are clear with this point. Okay, now let's assume that the string is something like this. Instead of D, let's say we have C over here. Okay, now in that case what will happen? The letters are matching, so letters are equal in this case. So we can't directly say that the string is palindrome because only one pair is matching. It may happen that the other pairs are not matching. So for that, what we need to do is, see, we need to increment this to this position. So now instead of remembering or instead of keeping index as 0 with us, we'll keep index as 1. Okay, so now we are referring to this element. Similarly, we'll kind of shift this to this element and now we'll refer to this element. Okay, so now again we'll do the same. We'll compare whether elements present at these two indexes are equal or not. If they are equal, we can say that okay, string still can be a palindrome. Okay, but if they are not equal, we can say that string is not palindrome. So this is the basic logic. I hope you will get more idea about this logic when I'll actually write the code. So let's go to the VS Code and start writing the code for it. See, I'll remove this reverse logic. Okay, this logic, I'll remove it entirely. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll need two indexes, two variables to hold the indexes. So I'll create two variables. first is going to be I, so I will be initialized with 0, and let's say we have another index or another variable to store the second index, which is the index from the end. Okay, so I'll name it as j, and j will be initialized to string length -1, so it will point to the last element of the string. Okay, it will hold the index of last element of the string. So in this way I'm creating two variables. I hope you are clear with this. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll write one while loop, because we need to do some operations repetitively. We need to check pairs of elements, and this is going to be a repetitive task, so I'm choosing while loop for this. Okay, and see, I'm going to come back to the condition of the while loop. We are going to see what is going to be the condition. For now, let's keep it empty. Okay, now what we'll do is inside this while loop, we are just going to check if str1 of I, if it is not equal to str1 of j. See, this basically means the pair is not equal. So in this case, what we can do is we can say that the string is not palindrome. Okay, or else what I'll do is, see, instead of directly printing, what I'll do is I'll create one boolean variable. Okay, let's create one boolean variable with name is palindrome. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll make this as false, because we are getting to know that string is not palindrome. All right, why we are getting an error over here? Boolean. Okay, we need to write bull, not boolean. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so yeah, whenever we get this condition that the pair is not equal, we will say that string is not palindrome, and we don't need to check the other pairs now. We can directly break from the loop. So I'll write break keyword over here. Okay, so this is the simple condition that I'm writing over here. And now what we need to do is, see, in every iteration we need to increment I by 1, so I'll write I plus plus, and we need to decrement j by 1, so I'll write j minus minus. Okay, see why I'm doing this. I'll take you back to the whiteboard. See, for example, my I is over here right now, so I is going to have value as 0. Okay, and j is going to have value as 4. Okay, this is the current state. Then we are checking whether two elements are equal or not. If they are equal, then what we are going to do is we are going to increment I by 1. So now I will come to the next position, and we'll decrement j by 1. So now j will come to the previous position. Okay, and if they are not equal, the elements are not equal, then what is going to happen? We are setting is palindrome boolean flag, or the boolean variable is palindrome, we are setting it to false. Okay, so what will happen is palindrome will set to false, and then we are breaking from the loop. Okay, so in that case I plus plus and j minus minus won't happen. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this point, how this thing is working. Now let's discuss about this condition. What will be the condition of the while statement? See, the condition of the while statement is going to be something like this. For that, let me take you back to the whiteboard. See, we need to keep on doing this until and unless my I, see, my I is always lesser than j. Okay, my I value should be always lesser than j. So the point at which your I will become greater than j, okay, whenever your I will become greater than j, because in every iteration we are incrementing I and decrementing j. So till the point your I is lesser than j, it is fine. But the point when your I will become greater than j, then we have to stop. Then we don't need to continue the loop, because we have already kind of completed the entire string. Okay, because j is coming from this side and I is coming from this side. So whenever I will become greater than j, that means I will enter into this part and j will come into this part. That means we have seen the entire string and all the elements are matching, all the pairs are matching. Okay, see, basic idea over here is very simple. What we are doing is, let's say this is my string ABA. We are just dividing the string into two parts. Okay, from here I is starting, from here j is starting. I will go in this direction, j will go in this direction. Okay, so j is coming in reverse direction and I is going in forward direction, and then we are just comparing the elements. That's it, what we are doing. Okay, so whenever j will come to this side of the string and whenever I will go to this side of the string, so this basically means your I will become greater than j. So in that case we have to stop the loop. So I hope you got the condition. So the condition is going to be till the point your I is less than j, we are going to run this loop. Okay, so till the point your I is less than j, this loop is going to run. Whenever your I will become greater than j, then this loop will terminate. Okay, so in this way it is going to work. And now see what we need to do over here. Once this loop terminates, we need to check whether is palindrome is true or false. So if is palindrome is true, so what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to initialize this is palindrome to true. Just focus very logically, and let's see what is happening. So I'm going to initialize this is palindrome to true. Okay, now what is going to happen if we are not entering inside this if statement? So that basically means we are not getting any pair which is not equal with each other. So in that case, is palindrome is going to remain true. Okay, it is not going to be false, it is going to be true after end of this while loop. Okay, so if it is still true, that means we never entered inside this if statement. That means we didn't got any pair which is not equal with each other. That means string is palindrome. So over here I can say that cout string is palindrome followed by slash n. Else we can say that the string is not palindrome. Cout string is not palindrome. See, this logic looks complex, but this code is more optimized than the previous one, because in this code we are not replicating the string. We are not using the extra storage for the string. See, you're going to learn about these concepts in upcoming courses if you're doing the entire track placement preparation masterclass. So we are going to discuss about optimized code in data structures and also in logic building courses. Okay, so don't worry about that for now. And yeah, I guess that's it. And now let's quickly compile and execute this code to see whether everything works well or not. You can see it is saying string is palindrome because it is actually palindrome. And let's change the string now. Let's make it non-palindrome string, and let's see whether it says string is not palindrome. You can see it is saying string is not palindrome. See, I know this code is looks little complex, but it is super easy. So just pause the video and try to see this code properly and try to write this code on your machine and try to execute this.